which we obviously are aware of because life is difficult within itself. And if you are struggling to stay positive and hopeful, I would like to share these 9 tips that are helpful during moments of crisis, but not necessarily just only in moments of crisis, for any time you're having a tough time in your day or having a tough week. One thing that you might want to consider is not putting your head in the sand and trying to avoid or ignoring the situation at hand. While ignoring problems might feel good in the short term, it can usually, sap you of your positivity in the long run. Tip 2, we have to remember this too shall pass. This is not something that has happened recently, but we do have history to look back on other pandemics that had occurred. And most people, unfortunately, in the media, they're using the term new normal, but in reality, it's all about perspective. We will get past this. And like I said, in the midst of a crisis, it's nearly impossible to keep things in perspective, but we will get past this if we focus on what is that this is temporary and this is not going to be our overall situation, because our ancestors were able to overcome many things that had occurred. And I believe this generation has it in them to also do the same thing. Another tip that you might want to consider is making a plan. And when I mean make a plan for your day-to-day, even if it's just 3 things that you would like to accomplish, something on a personal level, spiritual, emotional. For myself, I've been trying to incorporate more meditation into my routine. Although I was doing meditation, but I find that it helps keep me calm, helps me stay focused, and at least feel grounded. And when you pay attention to making a solution or finding a solution rather than the problem, you do feel naturally more positive. Practice gratitude. Think about the things you are grateful for. And I noticed that just writing down what I am grateful for, or if I find myself about to have a negative thought, I literally start listing in my mind what I'm grateful for. And it could be the smallest things, that you're grateful for waking up this morning. You're grateful that you have a roof over your head. You're grateful to be safe. You're grateful to be in a country where your resources are not completely depleted. You have access to food, or you have access to healthcare. Your kids are healthy. Your friends and family are healthy. And if you are an individual that might be suffering because you might be having loved ones who are on the front lines serving the public, or may have known someone who is experiencing this current crisis coming close to home, then you have something to be grateful for. Of course, we don't wish any bad on anyone, ill will for anyone. But if you're alive today and you're healthy still, and you have certain things that many people are struggling just to have the basic necessities, that's something to be grateful for. Remember that there is good in the world, and more importantly, in your life. Another tip is to reach out for support. During times like this, their officials have said that we have to consider social distancing. And it's actually ironic because it's more physical than social. Because of technology, we're capable of reaching out to each other and creating or joining online groups or communities. And so reaching out to your loved ones, offer your support, but also reach out if you need help too, because this does take a toll on any individual, anyone who might suffering with mental illness, definitely anyone who might be immune compromised, they, or an elderly individual, you may want to reach out to a neighbor or a relative or friend, colleague, and of course, still keep in mind that we have to stay within certain distance, but there are other ways of being compassionate and showing support and having a sense of community. Another tip is take a break. Sometimes our circumstances are just overwhelming, and that it forces us to think about our problems constantly. And I know for myself, I had to shut things down because I normally try to take things in small doses, but I had to scale back even more because it got overwhelming and my anxiety hit the roof. And I was like, I don't want to lose sleep over this because I felt helpless. And I'm thinking, what if it happens to myself or my daughter or anyone that I know? But one of the things was that helped was to take a break from the news. You do need to stay informed, yes, but it's okay to take a break from the news, even social media, because on social media you see the time loops, everyone is on there. And sometimes you do have to take a break from other people because there are trolls, unfortunately, that are posting misinformation and really scaring people, which is not cool. Another thing that you might want to consider is journal your feelings. Some people might think, oh, that's so corny. Why would I want to do that? But in reality, it's actually pretty helpful for you to do that. When you're journaling, it's simply giving you a place to express your fears and your concerns. And a journal helps you maintain your positivity outside of its pages. So, in a way, you can consider your journal as your best friend, a friend that you can vent to if you don't want to tell certain people certain thoughts, or you might just want to get out your system if you can't find anyone to talk to. Another thing you can do is focus on things you can control, which, of course, the best way for you to focus on things you can control are staying safe, washing your hands, ensuring that you have your supplies. It could be for food, it could be for your medicines, it could be for anything that you know that will keep you and your family safe. Take the necessary precautions, and there you have that peace of mind of knowing that, okay, I have control over this. I might not have control over what's going on out there or when this will end or how much this will impact my life, but I do have control over something. And you're focusing on doing your best when it comes to seeing what you do have control over. And I know it's not easy, especially when the world seems like it's spinning out of control and you may feel helpless. I know I did. It wasn't easy to understand how much this would devastate us. But when I was following along what was going on in the international sense, I know that this can happen here. But the question would be, how will we be able to handle this? Will we be able to overcome this? And of course, the last thing you can do is entertain your distractions. Normally, you know, we are often trying to learn how to avoid or deal with our distractions, and we usually are discouraged for that. But when you're going through something that just makes no sense whatsoever, in a sense, you do need a positive, positive thing to keep you distracted. And no matter how silly it may seem, you should embrace the distraction that brings you joy during this restless time. And just to sum everything up, these are actionable steps. The first one, which I highlighted, was write down your feelings. This is where you write down, what you're feeling, think about everything you are dealing with, how it's affecting you, and write it down. Don't worry about the grammar or spelling. Just focus on getting your feelings out of your head and onto paper. The next thing is to reach out, whether you're reaching out to offer support or requesting it for yourself. Reach out, and it will help you feel like you're part of a community. Or, when we all work together, we can overcome anything. If you feel that you need to join a support group, a prayer group, or just a phone group that you can put together, a message group that you can put together on your phone with your friends and family members, do that if that will help you to stay grounded, and also to help you just give you a sense of that you are not alone going through this. And last but not least, make a plan. You'll feel more positive by just having a plan, even though, think about what your biggest struggle is at the moment and try to make a plan to tackle it. And of course, some things, like I said, is beyond your control, but that's okay. If you just make a plan on saying, what can I accomplish for day one, and what is it that I would like to accomplish up to at least day 7. And, when you do that, it kind of gives you some type of structure, some type of routine, because that's what it is. A lot of us have been thrown off our normal daily routine. And if we can just find some semblance of a routine that is also productive, constructive, that will help us, we will not only come out of this more humble, I believe, we'll also be a lot more resilient and take the time to just focus on things that will better you as a human being, as a citizen, as a neighbor, as a mother, daughter, father, brother, uncle, anything. I am hoping that within the time being that we are here, I believe this is an opportunity for us to reset ourselves, reset our priorities, reset our perspective on how we view each other as human beings, and understand that, anything can happen. The question is, how are we going to respond to it? Will we let it bring out the worst in us, or will we let it bring out the best in us? Once again, I just wanted to share a few of these things with you, and hopefully it helps you and a loved one. And if you want, share it with anyone that you might think this might help encourage them. I will provide a link if you would like to have these tips in written form, and it's free, so you don't have to worry about purchasing anything. And just like I said, this is just to help, my way of putting it forward and trying to help people through this time. And hopefully we'll get out of this and much as better human beings. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I wish you all the best. Be safe. Hug. Well, of course, we can't really touch each other, but a virtual hug to you guys. And namaste.